What we're doing now is we're adding in synthetic, vitamins. Our body is unable to process that. All right, so a lot of that leads to weight gain. It leads to unsteady blood sugar numbers. Your blood sugar is going up and down, not able to be regulated. Okay, and it leads to insulin resistance, unfortunately. So you definitely want to eliminate the over processed foods. That also includes bread. All right, I love bread. Okay, I'm sure many of us love bread. There are days when I'm like, oh, a good brioche, okay, a good sourdough. Now, sourdough is actually very healthy for you. It is nutrient dense. However, you want to make sure the bread that you're using is not with bleached flour. All right, it has to be nutrient dense. So reading the label is going to be very important. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Monique Diltz podcast. And tonight we'll be discussing diabetes yet again. We'll be discussing the reversal. Last week, we talked about the addiction, the sugar addiction that has our nation in a crisis, right? Today, we're going to talk about the reversal, things that we did to get us on track to reversing type 2 diabetes. And then also next episode, we're going to talk about the herbs and leaves that you can use. So I'm really excited about today. Let's get started. My name is Dr. Monique Diltz. I am a registered pharmacist, and I love to share the message that God has given me in when it comes to holistic wellness and health. We have reversed high blood pressure. We have reversed type 2 diabetes. We have normalized cholesterol levels. We have lowered high liver enzymes. We have conquered so many things in our health journey. How could I keep it to myself? Right? God is like, listen, girl, get out there and share what I have given you. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. So let's get right into it with no hesitation. God said that the food will be for our healing, right? The leaves will be for our healing. The fruit will be for our food, and the leaves will be for our healing. So we're going to get into some food swaps, things that you can do when it comes to high blood sugar. Now, this also helps with high blood pressure. I'm going to keep it real. It helps with overall health. But if you're listening to this episode and you're like, Monique, where can I start? What foods can I have to help me with my high blood sugar? Let's get right into it. So, rice. You definitely want to eliminate any type of over-processed food, and that includes white rice, any type of bleached food. All right, let's start with white rice. All right, it's overly processed. Okay, it is literally stripped of all nutrients. Okay, so you're literally just getting a belly full. You want to replace white rice, okay, with things that are more nutrient dense, such as quinoa. All right. You want to use more grain and nutrient dense foods such as quinoa. All right. Instead of white flour, okay, you want to use a nutrient dense flour like spelt flour, okay, chickpea flour, almond flour, lentil flour. There's so many different flours out there, oat flour even. Okay, sprouted oat flour is absolutely amazing. I actually sneak it into our kids' waffles and our kids' pancakes. All right, when we make them homemade, and you put that right in there, it immediately adds so much more nutrition than just plain flour, especially if that flour is bleached. It has been stripped of all its nutrition, and then What we're doing now is we're adding in synthetic, vitamins. Our body is unable to process that. All right. So a lot of that leads to weight gain. It leads to unsteady blood sugar numbers. Your blood sugar is going up and down, not able to be regulated. Okay. And it leads to insulin resistance, unfortunately. So you definitely want to eliminate the over processed foods. That also includes bread. All right. I love bread. Okay. I'm sure many of us love bread. There are days when I'm like, oh, a good brioche, a good sourdough. Now, sourdough is actually very healthy for you. It is nutrient dense. However, you want to make sure the bread that you're using is not with bleached flour. All right. It has to be nutrient dense. So reading the label is going to be very important. Very important, especially when you're on the journey to health, because a lot of companies are sneaking in ingredients into our foods that we're highly unaware of. So we got to be detectives, right? We got to spend a little bit more time in the grocery store and look at the foods that we are eating. All right. So no white rice, okay? Use something like quinoa instead, all right? You can use a wild rice, all right? Many of you may say, oh, can I do brown rice? I honestly would stay away from rice, especially if it is spiking your blood sugar, all right? It has to have a good amount of fiber, all right? And it has to have a good amount of nutrients if you're looking to bring those blood sugar levels down. We have seen tremendous benefit from switching from rice to quinoa, all right? Give it a try, and I'm pretty sure you'll see a change as well, all right? Instead of regular white flour, again, spelt flour. Instead of regular white bread, right? Sprouted bread. All right. So look for the sprouted goods. Those are going to be the foods that are going to help you. Why? Because they're rich in fiber, they're rich in nutrients. So they're not going to spike your blood sugar levels, right? They're going to allow for that slow absorption, right? Of that glucose from the food being deposited into the bloodstream. Is going to allow for that absorption, and it's going to help you have a steady rise, right? And then get absorbed like it's supposed to, instead of that huge spike that you see after you go out to eat at a restaurant and you're eating white rice, okay? Pasta as well, all right? There are many nutrient-dense pasta options. I'm so excited about that because, bread and pasta, girl, right? We all love that, right? We grew up on that. However, you can make the switch to something like a chickpea pasta. And that's what we've been doing. We actually love the taste of that. And we make our walnut mince. Chickpea pasta is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And guess what? No blood sugar spikes. Why? Because chickpea is huge when it comes to fiber and protein. Tons of protein. Okay. And that protein, again, is going to allow for that steady absorption and not that increased insulin spike. All right. So you want to, again, look for foods that are going to help with that. Foods that are rich in fiber, foods that are high in protein, right? Foods that are not overly processed. These ultra processed foods, guys, they're killing us. They literally are. And a lot of the data that is being released now is evident of that. I feel like our generation might have been the guinea pigs a little bit, just because 40 years ago, right, here we are, we're trying these new ingredients. We're increasing ultra processed foods, these microwave TV dinners. Everything looks so good. It's so easy. It's so quick. It's so convenient, right? It fits into that rat race lifestyle, right? And we're no longer in the kitchen making our meals and we're getting everything from a package, right? But how is it affecting us today? If you listen to the last episode, you are seeing that diabetes is already a huge problem. Millions of people do not even know that they are affected by it, right? And it's going to be an even bigger problem in the years to come, especially with our generation. So quinoa has more protein than white rice and brown rice. It is a complete protein. Okay. So the complete protein means that it has all of 9 essential amino acids. All right. There are essential amino acids that are critical, right, for your body. And quinoa, guess what, has all 9 of them, every single one of them. It has 20% of the recommended daily intake of fiber. Okay. So it's great that it already has protein, but what I love about it is that it also has fiber. A lot of times when we're eating the high protein diets, right, protein is good for your body. However, if you're doing too much protein and you're not getting enough fiber, it is not going to be eliminated as quickly out of your body, especially if you're doing animal protein, right? So you definitely want to add more fiber into the diet. A lot of times we're looking like, the protein, we're so worried about the protein, but we're not worried about the fiber, okay? We're not getting enough fiber. We're not able to push things out of our body fast enough, eliminate fast enough, okay? Many Americans, many people are not going to the restroom every day. All right. Many people are not able to eliminate every single day. And that's a problem. OK, it should be daily, even a couple times a day, that your body's able to break down food, get what it needs from it and push it on out, eliminate it out. All right. If you're not doing that, okay, then you need to get more fiber, and we're just simply not getting enough. So quinoa is going to help with that. All right. It has less carbohydrates and a lower glycemic index. Okay. So it's not going to spike your blood sugar levels like rice. All right. Rice is going to do that, especially overly processed rice. It's going to do that. Okay. And why I love it so much, it also has high minerals content such as iron, calcium, potassium. So you're getting protein, okay? You're getting fiber, and you're also getting minerals. It's amazing. So I will highly recommend that you switch over to a grain such as quinoa if you're looking to get your blood sugar levels under control. Flour. Okay, we already spoke about using a nutrient-dense flour such as spelt flour. I love spelt flour because if I want to bake a cake, if I want to make a pizza dough, if I want to make pancakes, if I want to make waffles, okay, spelt flour is that flour that I can swap for regular flour, right? Sometimes I may want a waffle, right? Or I may want a pancake. Okay, that's not going to affect the blood sugar level, right? Let's keep it real. Okay, flour does have a high glycemic index, right? Meaning that it's going to spike your blood sugar, okay? Especially depending on the flour that you buy. So if you want to minimize that, you can use something such as a spelt flour, and we've seen it, okay? So we'll enjoy spelt flour waffles or spelt flour pancakes on the weekends, okay? And we found that it has a lower glycemic index, okay? So it's not going to spike your blood sugar as high. It is absolutely amazing, and it tastes great too. It's so good, and it's something that you can feel so good about because you made that swap, but you're still able to enjoy, right, what you love. But it's just as simple as making a swap, such as this. I guarantee you, if you try this, okay, you are going to see the benefit with your blood sugar. All right. Yeah, you might add agave, you might add a little maple syrup to it. Don't get carried away, of course, right? But when I'm telling you, when you make this swap, you're going to see a change, and you're going to love yourself for it because here you are, you made a healthy swap, but you still get to enjoy something that you may love. All right. Sprouted bread, Ezekiel bread is a brand that I love. We use that bread all the time. There are many other brands of sprouted bread out there. You just have to look for the ingredients. Usually they're in the freezer section, all right? Because a lot of them are not shelf stable. It's crazy how some breads can sit on the shelf for months and months on end. And I really don't want to say years because that scares me a little bit. If the bread can sit on the shelf for a year, How is it supposed to be broken down by your body? How many preservatives are in there that are not harmful? Tell me right now. I don't think we can name one, right? So breads are supposed to decompose, right, and break down. So you'll find that a lot of the sprouted grain breads are in the freezer because they are not going to be shelf stable for long periods of time, okay? So that's where we have it, either in the freezer or in a cooler temperature part of the refrigerator. And you can just pop it in this toaster or set it out if that's the way you want to have it. Now, it has tons of protein. Right? Ezekiel bread is actually a complete protein. It has all 9 amino acids, essential amino acids. So go find some, okay? And you're going to find that you're not going to gain weight on this bread. All right. Now, is it going to be that brioche? Is it going to be that, fluffy bread? I'm trying to think of a bread that we grew up on, Nature Zone and all these other brand names that we grew up on, Wonder Bread, right? Is it going to be that? No, it's not. It is going to be a healthier option for you. And if you're on this journey to getting rid of diabetes, we got to make some changes. We can't do the same things and expect different results. All right. So something like this is a quick and easy swap. All right. You'll get used to it. I love it. Okay. You'll get used to it. It's great. It has protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals. You're going to feel amazing with this bread. You're not going to feel bogged down. You're not going to feel heavy. You're going to love it. And it has a lower impact on your blood sugar. All right, a pasta alternative that we love. Chickpea pasta. I'm going to name a few here. There's lentil pasta, whole grain pasta, brown rice pasta. Again, it's rice pasta, so you want to be careful with that. But it is still going to be better, right, than a regular pasta. Pea flour pasta, cauliflower pasta, sweet potato pasta, right? There's so many options now, and you don't even have to stop there. You can make pasta with vegetables, all right? We got a spiralizer now, so literally pop a zucchini in there and turn it around. I got some zucchini noodles. Pop a cucumber on there, turn it around. I got some cucumber noodles, okay? So you can make noodles with vegetables. You can make carrot noodles, beet noodles. I mean, you can make noodles with vegetables, right? So you don't have to have the traditional pasta, which has a higher glycemic index, right? And you don't have to have that all the time. You can swap it out with choices such as these, and you're going to find your blood sugar is going to be much, much better for it. All right. These pastas have more fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Okay. And more protein. Okay. Chickpea pasta. Amazing when it comes to protein. Lentil pasta. All right. High protein content. So you can use pasta, right? But just make sure it's a nutrient dense pasta. Okay, so yes, we want to enjoy birthdays. We want to enjoy holidays. We want to enjoy all the things, right? Which we can, right? But when we're on a journey to lowering our blood sugar, to eliminating diabetes for good, we got to make these changes. All right, you can enjoy those favorite days. That's every once in a while. It shouldn't be every day, right? So for the day-to-day, if you want a pasta dish, substitute that traditional pasta for an alternative like this. Eat more beans, eat more legumes, okay? Beans are an excellent food choice for diabetics. They help control blood sugar. They are packed with protein and even more packed with fiber. Fiber, 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 fiber. Fiber is going to be your best friend when you are a diabetic, all right? The fact that you can eliminate everything out of your bloodstream, fiber also allows, right, for your blood sugar to not spike as high, right? And it allows for stabilization of blood sugar. And it just helps eliminate everything that shouldn't be in your body, all right? We're focusing on the wrong things when we should be focused on fiber. How much fiber are you getting in your diet, right? For most diabetics, it's not as much as they should be getting. You should be having fruits and vegetables or nutrient-dense foods that are fiber-rich with every single meal. Nothing should be fast food. Nothing. Eliminate all overly processed foods, right? We have to. We can't do the same things that we've been doing if we want to heal, okay? So add in more beans, add in more legumes. What are beans and legumes? Chickpeas, lentils, butter beans, pinto beans, black beans, all right? Just go down that aisle and look for some that you want to try, okay? And they're not hard to cook. You can already buy them cooked if you wish, all right? We prefer to cook our own here, all right? And you soak them overnight and you cook them the next day. They don't take more than a couple of hours. And then you have a big pot that you can have for a while because you can make several dishes with that. All right. And they help control blood sugar overall. Okay. And overall, they are a longevity food. All right. You look at the blue zones. All right. Where these are the areas where there are so many centurions, people that are living over 100 years old. What are they eating? Beans. Okay. Beans. Why? Because they're high in protein and they're high in fiber. All right. This is a longevity food. This is going to decrease your risk for chronic disease overall. Okay. So you heard me talk about glycemic index a lot. I did want to explain what it is. It's a number that measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar levels. All right. So that's all it is. You can find a complete glycemic index list online. All right. You just have to look for glycemic index chart and it will literally show you, okay, the food that you desire to look for, how it will affect your blood sugar. Okay. I also have a Tackle Diabetes ebook. Okay. That's explaining everything that I'm going through right here with you right now. All right. The link will be in the description box if you would love to look at that and just have it in your hands, right? Available to you, all this information. Okay. Pure glucose, pure sugar has a glycemic index of 100. All right. So that's the reference number that they use. Okay. So anything that is high is greater than 70. Remember that reference number is 100. So from 70 to 100, if that food has a glycemic index from 70 to 100, that's high. It's going to spike your blood sugar out the roof. Okay. Medium. And then there's low. Anything under 55. All right. So that's where you want to be when you're looking for your food. I can give you some examples. Okay. So we have, let's look at carrots, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. The glycemic index is 15. Very low. These are foods that are not going to spike your blood sugar. Okay. But then we have the baked potato, like the russet potato. That is over 100. Do you see that? Over 100. That means when you're eating a russet potato, baked potato, your blood sugar is out the roof right after you eat that. Okay. So you will want to swap that with a sweet potato. Okay. Quinoa, 53. It's under 55. Okay. Lentils, 35. Cucumber, 15. Let's look at some fruits because I know a lot of people are worried about fruit. How is fruit going to do here? I have a couple of fruits that I can share with you. Sweet cherries, 25. That's not bad. Okay. Bananas, 51. It's still under 55. Apples, 39. Blueberries, 53. Strawberries, 40. Okay. So these fruits they still have a low glycemic index. Okay. At least the ones that I have here. Okay. Again, fruits and vegetables are not the problem. Okay. If your blood sugar is spiking after you have certain fruits, you can always have it with nuts. You can always have it with like a coconut, unsweetened coconut yogurt. Right, for that protein and that fat that's going to slow absorption of the blood sugar. Okay, you can have it with fiber. All right, so you can put it with oats. You can put it with things that are going to slow the absorption of that sugar. Again, the fruits and vegetables are not the problem. It's the metabolism, your metabolism, our metabolism. Okay, so we have to fix the system that processes the blood sugar in our bodies. The fruits and vegetables are not the issue. It's how our bodies are processing that, right? It may no longer be working like it used to, which is why we are pre-diabetic, which is why we are diabetic. But we want to get our bodies working again so it can process the natural sugar, the natural fruits and vegetables that God has given us. All right. How do we do that? By making these swaps. Okay. There are many fruits that help us normalize our blood sugar. All right. Berries are number one. Okay. They have a low glycemic index of less than 55. So they are very low. And what that means, okay, it's going to cause a slower rise, okay, in that blood sugar level. So they're a great choice. They should be one of the first fruits that anybody that is pre-diabetic or diabetic may reach for in the grocery store. All right. Get your blueberries, get your blackberries, get your raspberries, get your strawberries. Okay. Citrus fruits are also amazing. A lot of fiber there, especially when you're eating the whole citrus, right? The whole orange, okay? The whole grapefruit, all right? We're not just kind of chewing it up and spitting it out. We need that fiber, okay? Eat everything, okay? All right? I know sometimes the skin you cannot have, but everything else, eat that. God put it there, okay? God gave us the fiber in the fruit for a reason, okay? A lot of times we're peeling, cutting, chopping, all of that, and we're getting rid of a lot of the fiber when God put it there. This is what's going to stop your blood sugar from spiking. Don't eliminate the fiber, okay? This is why, you know, if you're a diabetic, you may not be able to juice, okay? Because a lot of times when you're juicing the fruits, you're stripping away that fiber, right? And it's staying right there in a cup. You're getting the juice. So when you drink the juice, your blood sugar goes up. And many people say, oh, my doctor doesn't want me to juice. My doctor says no juicing, right? The juicing is not the issue, okay? It's the eliminating of the fiber that's the issue. So blend, okay? Or I should say having the fruits is not the issue. That's what I should say, right? Having the fruits is not the issue, okay? So the juicing, yes, might be an issue for you as a diabetic. So you have to blend, okay? Blending keeps that fiber, right? That fiber is going to slow that increase in blood sugar. That's why blending may be a better option for you instead of juicing, right? Again, nothing wrong with fresh fruit juice. Nothing wrong with it. However, if your body is unable to metabolize the blood sugar effectively that is coming right into that bloodstream, right? That's what we're working to fix. Okay, so you have to have the fruit with the fiber. God put it there, right? So that our bodies will not have that blood sugar spike right away. You got to eat everything in that fruit. Eat it all. Okay, apples, amazing. We should have the apple skin. We should. So make sure your apples are organic, because I know if ours are not organic, a lot of times I'm peeling the skin off, because anything that I have to have the skin for, right? I know it's exposed to harmful pesticides. We don't have apples in the backyard yet. Okay. I'm hoping one day we will. Okay. Cause we have a baby tree back there, but until then we have to buy, right? So, you know, we're placing our trust in the system. We don't know what's being sprayed on these things for them to last for months and months and months on the shelf. They have to, this business. So in order for me to feel comfortable about even for apple skin, yes, I wash it. You know, we do the baking soda, we do the vinegar, we do all of that. And we scrub everything. However, peeling the skin off, I feel so much better, especially if it is not organic. Okay. Pears, the same. Okay. They are a great option, just like apples, for managing and stabilizing blood sugar over time. All right. These are fruits that you definitely want to reach for when you're in the grocery store. Berries, citrus, apples, and pears. Those are going to help you the most when it comes to your blood sugar. Now, fruits, my husband did a fruit and vegetable fast. We did a fruit and vegetable fast. However, he did mostly fruit. okay, for 6 to 7 weeks, and we saw complete healing all around. All right. So it's all about fixing the metabolism, fixing that vacuum in your body that is able to pull that blood sugar out of your bloodstream quick enough. Okay. Insulin, so that you don't have insulin resistance. Okay. Let's get into vegetables. All vegetables, I'm going to tell you right now, especially if they're not root vegetables. A lot of the root vegetables have a little bit of a sugar content, such as beets, right? There's beet sugar, okay? But many of the leafy green vegetables, or just green vegetables, okay, they are going to help normalize your blood sugar. We're talking about the broccoli, the kale, spinach, Brussels sprouts, all right? Asparagus, cabbage, cucumber. Cucumber I love because it is extremely hydrating, all right? More than 90% water, right? And when you're hydrated, your body is going to heal, okay? Get you some okra water, okay? Get you some aloe, anything with some mucilage, all right? Get you some cucumber, okay? Hydrating melons. All right. Cucumber. We got, what is that? Cantaloupe, honeydew, watermelon, all the melons. Hydrating. All right. This has the natural electrolytes that your body needs to heal. When you get this kind of water, when you're eating your water, so you got to drink your water and eat your water. When you're eating your water, your body is so hydrated. Your cells are loving it. They're soaking it all up. And I'm telling you, toxins are being flushed out. One of the easiest ways to flush your system and your body out is to eat your water. Right? To ingest foods that are hydrating. So get some cucumber. All right. And that doesn't mean put a whole lot of salt and soy sauce and, garlic powder, onion. It doesn't mean overly seasoned stuff. Just enjoy it. I'm telling you right now, when you go on a fast, and I'm talking about a complete fast, right? A water fast, and you give yourself 24 hours to have anything. When you come back to it, or even longer, right? When you come back to it, you're finally able to taste it. And you realize, oh my goodness, how good is this cucumber? How good is this apple? An apple is the best thing after a fast. The best thing. But we're so, our palate and our taste buds are just so overwhelmed with seasoning that we don't get to appreciate the real taste of food. We really don't. And we don't even know what a pepper tastes like. We don't even really know what, certain vegetables, all of our vegetables got to have some seasoning on it. Why? Why? Right? Because it tastes better like that, but we don't even know the real taste of it, So I would highly recommend giving your taste buds, giving your body a break from just eating, right? And just drink water and fluids and give your body some time to have a break from digesting. Digesting gives your body so much work to do. It really does. And you will understand how much healing can take place when you give your body that time and how much better food tastes. All right. So one thing I want to share with you before I actually close this episode is how to enjoy fruits, okay, without the sugar spike. I was explaining this a little bit earlier, but here, let's get into it. So if you are having an issue with fruits and fruits are spiking your blood sugar and your doctor is saying you can't have fruit, which is crazy to me, okay? You gotta have fruits. This is one of the first foods that God wanted us to have when he created us. Pick and eat. Everything in this garden is yours. Pick and eat. All right. These are healing foods. Fruits and vegetables are healing foods. Okay. These are the things that we need to reach for. However, if our bodies are having an issue with metabolizing the sugar, what can we do? So you want to pair it with protein. Okay, you want to have it with nuts. You can have it with seeds. Okay, you can have a banana with a handful of nuts, or berries with cashew yogurt. Okay, or flaxseed pudding for a balanced snack. Okay, so combining it with protein helps slow down the absorption of sugar in your bloodstream. So this is one way you can enjoy fruits, right, without that immediate blood sugar spike. Okay, add healthy fats. Okay, so a cashew yogurt, avocado slices, right, with mango or almond butter or peanut butter, right, a healthy fat with some sort of fruit. Apples with peanut butter are amazing snack. Okay, bananas even with peanut butter. Okay, so if you're finding again that spiking blood sugar is an issue, add protein or healthy fats to that fruit. Okay, fiber-rich fruits. Okay, or fiber-rich foods. All right, watermelon salad. Right, you can put watermelon on a salad. Plenty of fiber in that salad. Okay, you can have some sprouted bread. Okay, you can have oatmeal. Oatmeal is full of fiber. You can put your fruit on top of your oats. Okay, my husband does that all the time. He loves the homemade granola. It has sprouted oats in there, and you can dump some fruit on that. All right, there's nuts in there, there's seeds in there. So putting the fruit with that, he's not gonna see that blood sugar spike. Right, it's not gonna be as rapid as it could potentially be because we're adding it with a fiber-rich meal. Okay. You want to limit fruit juice portions. Okay. So like I said before, fruit juice is amazing. Okay. It's one of the ways you can get the nutrients from the fruit directly into your bloodstream in the quickest form possible by just getting that juice. Okay. Whereas somebody who is not diabetic can handle that. All right. Somebody who is pre-diabetic or diabetic may not be able to handle that immediate rush of fruit juice. Okay. So you want to limit that. Okay. You want to keep your portions small and pair it with a meal that includes protein, healthy fats, or fiber, the things that I listed. Okay. Or blend. Just blend. Okay. You can blend your apple. You can blend your bananas. You can blend whatever the fruit is that you're using. Whereas you may want just the juice, just go ahead and blend it to get the fiber, because the fiber is what's going to keep your blood sugar from spiking as high. And we have seen it. Okay, we have seen it with our own eyes. We have lived it. So I'm coming to you from experience with that, not just from something I've read in a book. We have lived it. And if you follow the journey on our page, you will see it. Okay, that you want to blend, especially if you are pre-diabetic or sensitive, just sensitive to blood sugar, right? You definitely want to blend more than you want to juice. Okay, so if your doctor is like, no juicing, that is why. Okay, but there's a way around it. You can still enjoy. All right, you just got to blend. So finally, guys, I'm so excited to talk about herbs, leaves, and spices and things that you can do to get those blood sugar levels regulated and normalized, and things that work that God has given us. Okay, the fruit will be our food. Okay, and the leaves will be for our healing. I'm excited to share that in the next upcoming episode. But before I depart on this episode, I do want to encourage you to prioritize exercise and rest. Okay, exercise. You can do all of these things that I listed here. Okay, but if your blood is not turning over, it's not circulating, you're not getting oxygen into the bloodstream, then it is not going to be as effective as when your blood is moving. How is your blood going to move? How is it going to get that circulation, right? By you getting out there and being active. All right. So you have to prioritize moving the blood. You do. Because here we are, we're getting in all these wonderful fruits, wonderful vegetables. We're making all these amazing food swaps, right? The nutrition profile is looking great, but we're not moving. Okay. We have poor circulation. We got to get up. Many people sit down for their work. So they're sitting for most of the day, right? Which should not be. God did not create us to sit. We're not supposed to be sitting down for most of the day. Most of the people, when you're reading and studying the Word of God, or even looking at different cultures from times past, they were moving. They were walking from here to there, right? We have a lot more things that are convenient for us now. We can work from home. We can drive in our cars. You know, we have so many different forms of transportation. So we don't have to move or walk from, long distances anymore, right? So we literally have to be intentional about it. We have to be intentional. So you want to exercise most days out of the week. At least 4 to 5 days out of the week. So the majority of the week, you got to do something to get that blood moving. All right. And I'm talking to myself too. Because you got to get out there. You got to move your body. All right. Even if it's walking around your home, right? You can't just sit in your chair. You can't just sit on the couch and expect that, hey, I'm eating right, I'm doing good, and that's going to be it, right? You have to also prioritize moving. Okay, get at least, and stretching, okay? So we want to move, we want to strength train, okay? Especially if you're 40 plus, you want to strength train your muscles and continue to build your muscles, okay? And you also want to stretch your muscles as well. So we're prioritizing changing our food, we're prioritizing exercise, and we're prioritizing rest, at least 6 to 8 hours every single night, okay? Our bodies need time to heal. Our bodies need time to recharge, and it's not able to do that fully to the capacity that it can do it if we're not getting rest. We have to rest. We have to close our eyes, and we have to sleep. Good sleep is going to help you heal. You're going to find that when you're getting more rest and you're prioritizing rest along with everything else that you're doing, okay, you're going to see healing rapidly, and it's going to come quickly, okay? So I really hope that you learned and gained so much from this episode. I really, really enjoy sharing this information with you. This is not just something that I am, coming on here and talking to you about. We're living this, okay? We're living these food swaps. They were not always easy to make, okay? My husband wasn't always open to some of these things, but guess what? Now he loves it. Why? Because he's seeing the results, okay? The clients that God has allowed me to work with may not have loved to make some of these food swaps, right? However, when they see the results, they get it. It's like, yo, I'm seeing this change just from this swap alone, right? Absolutely. Okay. I know a lot of things are ingrained in us. A lot of things are from our culture, and it's hard to change, right? However, we have to do something different to get different results. We cannot do the same things if we want to see different results. We got to do something. We got to work for it. And sometimes it's hard. All right. But you got to pick your heart. Okay, you got to choose. Hey, do you want to struggle with blood sugar? You want to struggle with diabetes? Or do I want to make these changes to see if this was something that I can eliminate from my life? The choice is yours, and I know you're going to make the best choice for you. I'm Dr. Monique Diltz, and I will see you on the other side of healing. Y'all be blessed.